My name is Mike Sadler, and I've spent my life with cars. Whether it's sand dunes and drag strips, museums, car shows, even the backyard garage, I'm always on the lookout for speed and shine.
Hey, welcome to Speed and Shine. In this episode, we're going to head out and visit our friend Chuck at Avenue Auto. We're going to look at a 4x4 vehicle, which we all need this time of year in Michigan. But first, we're going to go to a very unique car show that just is right up our alley, and that is the Hagerty Concours de Lemons. You got to see this. Hey, welcome to Speed and Shine. We're here on a beautiful September day in the parking lot of Co-America, where we're attending the Radwood Car Show and Concours de Lemons. There is a lot to see here. Let's go check it out. Zach, this is an interesting car. I've never seen it. What are we looking at?
So this is a 1993 AutoZam AZ1. It's a K car from Japan. It's a tax bracket in Japan that regulated the size of the vehicle physically as well as the engine size. So they were limited to 660 cc's. So this is a 3-cylinder turbo with 63 horsepower as per a gentleman's agreement between all the manufacturers in Japan. Turbocharged mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, 5-speed manual from the 90s. So they all started development in the 80s during Japan's bubble era.
Okay.
So there was the Honda Beat, the Suzuki Cappuccino, and the AutoZam AZ1, and they're known as the ABC K-car sports cars.
Wow.
So the Honda Beat was also mid-engined, and that was a convertible, and then there was the Cappuccino, which was front-engine, rear-wheel drive, and then there was this, which was the hardtop, gull-winged, and kind of the most famous of all the K cars.
It's got a great name, and the fact everybody loves a car with gull-wing doors, right? It's like a DeLorean. It's just so small, but it's cool. So why did you choose this? How did that even come about?
So I'd been looking for one of these for a while, and the importer out on the western side of the state had this one coming in. So I went and put a deposit down on it because I've been looking for one for a while, and I saw it pop up on their website. And I had first kind of found out about these through Gran Turismo,
right?
Through those video games. It's my favorite car on the game, apart from maybe the Daihatsu Midget 2, which was another K car, little pickup truck, cab forward thing. So I always wanted one, and I kind of watched the market on them steadily kind of increase in price.
Yeah.
And I figured I'd get one now before they really skyrocket to the point of being completely unattainable. So yeah, I got a good price on this one. That was early April. Been driving around all summer and couldn't be happier with it.
How awesome is that? So you play a game and there's a car that's so unique in there, you love it, and then now you own it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's dream come true.
Let's look at the inside. For how small it is on the outside, it's not really that bad on the inside at all.
Yeah, it's got some pretty good room in there. They've got the little cutouts in the doors too, little pockets for your elbows. I mean, when I'm driving it, I don't feel very cramped at all. It can barely really even tell it's all that small until you pull up at a stoplight next to a pickup truck and you can't even see their side window. Then you begin to realize it's not that big and they could crush you if they wanted to.
Right. Yeah. How about the right-hand drive? What's that like to be on that side of the road in here?
It does take a little bit of getting used to, but it's generally not actually that bad. Thankfully, this car's thin enough that by the time I realize I'm kind of drifting into the center of the lane, I can look in my rearview mirror and I'm still not even close to the line on that side anyway, so I can pull it back. The most difficult thing has been the turn signals and the wiper stock.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly because the wiper stock doesn't move up and down, so if you go to use that as a turn signal and you keep your thumb in the steering wheel like I do, you can torque the steering wheel and it'll jerk the car to the to the side, so want to avoid doing that because it gets a little scary. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's actually not that bad.
And with the engine being really motorcycle CCs, right?
Yep.
It must get really good gas mileage.
Yeah, so last time I filled this up, I actually did the fuel economy calculations, and that was on the tank that I used for Dream Cruise, so a lot of stop and go traffic. I tend to have a bit of a heavy foot, which it's not like you can break the speed limit in this very easily anyway. And then it's got bad rear wheel bearings too, so I'm sure those aren't helping, but it still managed 39.75 mpg.
During Woodward at the Dream Cruise.
Yep.
That's a lot of stop and go to get that kind of mileage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it's a fantastic car, and you know, that's why we come to events like this, because we like to find the unique and unusual, and you got us today.
Nice. Cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Glad.
Taylor, this is awesome. Brush bar.
Yep.
What look are you going for here on this Crown Vic?
Well, the theme of my Crown Vic here is the Crafter. It's meant
the
to
what?
be. It's a Crafter.
Crafter, okay.
Yes, the Crafter. It's kind of a knockoff of a Ford Raptor.
Okay.
You know, I've got a F-150 and didn't manage to get a Raptor, so this is my Raptor.
Cool.
So that, and I'm not afraid to take a $35,000 truck off road and ding it all up. So this is great for that, and one dent on a regular Raptor would pretty well pay for this car.
True,
So
true.
that's kind of the gist of this one.
So it's not really four-wheel drive, but what did you do to get it up in the air to put these tires on there?
Sure. So it is two-wheel drive.
Okay.
Rear-wheel drive. I took the sway bar off in the back to help it articulate. In the front here, it's actually the rear struts off of a 02 to 05 Explorer.
Okay.
In the rear.
All right.
From the rear in the front, with the Crown Vic stock spring and the Crown Vic top hat. And then you bolt that all together, and it nets you somewhere in the ballpark of 2 to 3 inches of lift up front. And then there's a lot of trimming involved. To make it clear, these are 265 70-17s, comes out to about a 31.5 inch tire. So it's about as big as you can go without really getting crazy with the cutoff wheel. So
How did you know to use those parts? Did you figure it out yourself?
there's actually a pretty big online community of lifted Ford Crown Vics, believe it or not. Of all the things you'd think, there's multiple groups of them.
Okay.
And some crazy genius in his backyard managed to figure out that you can make that part swap. I will not lay claim to figuring that out. I figured out a few things as far as putting the stock Crown Vic spring on that strut. There hadn't been many people that had done that before. A lot of them run with the Explorer springs.
Sure.
And they're a little soft for this thing's like probably with all the stuff on it, 4,500 plus pounds. So, and then the rear is just, that one's just 3-inch lift cups underneath the stock spring. That one's pretty simple. You can swap Expedition springs in the rear.
Yeah.
They're a little stiffer. I wanted to try and keep factory-ish ride quality, so.
It looks tough, and those are the tires when I was a kid that you wanted on your four-wheel drive, the BF Goodrich, right?
Yeah, I love the white letters. I think the white letters should make a comeback. KO2s, I mean, I've had them on multiple vehicles, and they're the best balance to me of street and off-road performance.
Now, do you do something special with this vehicle?
Yeah, I off-road this thing all the time. You know, it sees the trails pretty regularly. Here in Michigan, looking to kind of expand out further here in the next couple of years. The goal eventually is to take it to Colorado and do the Alpine Loop, which is a series of like 3 or 4 14,000-foot passes.
Now, you told me before the interview here that you participate in the Gambler 500.
I do. This car's been in the Gambler 500 twice as far as I know, maybe 1 or 2 more times. It's a really good time, just crazy stuff. It's a lot of fun having a vehicle that's capable. I took this car when it was stock ride height to the Gambler, and that was an interesting experience. That was 6 hours of digging it out of anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of sand. The year after that, I wanted redemption, so I lifted it, and it did really well. It pulled other cars out of the sand. I had a really good time with it. So.
Ivan, what a masterpiece. Did you make this?
Yes, I did. We started in 76. We went to our second real national event, van event. And back in 76, we would have something like 6,000 vans there.
Wow.
So I was a feature attraction with one of my vans that was in all the magazines, and we made world news with a van, custom van with just murals on it. Anyway, and I looked around and I seen the vanners were going crazy over this chopped, super chopped, like 10 inches chopped Chevy van. I remember that, like a 64 or 5. And I'm going, these people are going crazy over this chopped up van, and then the bodywork is trash, it's still in primer, blah, 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 blah. And he had a crowd. And I'm going, I go to my wife, I goes, hey, I think I need to build a radical van.
That's how it started.
So she says, well, sell this van and you can start the new van. Anyway, so the van got sold. 2 months later, I bought this one, and this time in 76, probably in October of 76, we cut this up. I had a body man come in from Toronto. He did the actual chop and the Vista Cruiser roof and the quarter panels that are still on there, and the front end. And we toured the country pretty much with it, with ISCA. I was the feature for ISCA, and we did all of Canada. Went all the way up to Quebec City. I don't know if you know how far that is.
That's
pretty
long
far.
ways.
Then a year or two later, I overheard a man saying, oh, that's a customized minivan that's coming out. I said, well, that's not gonna work. I'm not gonna be a customized minivan. Now Dodge came out with a long nose that was reminiscent of my van, right? Same angles. I'm more rounded. They were flat out.
Sure.
You know. Anyway, long story short, I decided to cut it up. And when we made that decision, I said, well, you know what? I'm really liking what was happening. You know, I had a flat tire on my trailer. I need more axles. So it's coming out for the second time, dual axles on the front. I said, well, I don't like running 70, 80 mile an hour with just a front tire.
Right.
One tire. Two is much better.
Yeah.
So that led to twin small block Chevys.
It is just, there's so much to see. You know, the Vista Cruiser roof is, you know, a spark of genius, really. Everybody loves that roof.
Yeah.
And, you know, all the tires and everything, and the inside, it's just, you know, it's just so much to look at. You got to stand and take it all in.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time. We had a lot of good times everywhere. We had incredible memories. This is going to be one of them, yeah?
Yeah. Andrew, you look like you're wearing the period clothing for this car.
Yes, well, you know, I figure in for a penny, in for a pound. You know,
Yeah.
really get into it. So I've done my best. In fact, I wore one of my favorite ties. I think it actually fits really well with the theme of, you know, sometimes the outside isn't always what it appears to be. This tie is from, you know, the early 50s, and I'll make sure my wife's not watching, but
Oh,
get a load of that.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, always something a little fun under the hood, you know. So
Right.
it, you know, is a lot of people say this is one of the first experiments in badge engineering. It came out of the Studebaker factory, has a Studebaker engine in it, but it is a Packard. Studebaker and Packard merged in 1954, and this is the last year they used the Packard name, and this is one of the last couple hundred off the line.
It's fantastic. And what made you choose this car?
Well, you know, 58 was my favorite year for automotive design. It's kind of a year of excess, highest fins, the most chrome, and then this was a car that stood out in 1958 as a great story. It's got, you know, 4 fins. If 2 was good, 4 is better.
Of course.
You know, they're doing everything they can to modernize and update with basically zero budget. It's pretty rare. Rarity, of course, doesn't always equal value, but it's always nice when you go to a car show and you're virtually guaranteed to have the only one there. They made only about 1,000 of these to fulfill some contractual obligations. So,
okay.
Very uncommon vehicle, and it's kind of fun to talk about.
Where did you get it?
So I bought this from a used car lot in New Jersey, of all places. So I'm from Port Huron, up on the thumb, and I was searching. An ad popped up on Craigslist, and headed out with a trailer. It wasn't running. I've done a little bit of work to all the systems, but it's the original paint. It's got about 170,000 miles on it, and it's kind of beauty just as it is. So.
And you're here hoping to be judged, because it looks to me like you got a bribe going here.
I wouldn't say bribe. I mean, that would be, that would not be above board. But, if the judges, I figure when they get here, sometimes they're a little thirsty. They're, looking for something. And I would be a poor host if I wasn't able to offer them something to quench their thirst. So I've got some delicious Doritos and a rebadged bottle of Patron.
Okay.
It may look like El Toro, but it says Patron, just like this says Packard, so obviously that's what it is.
Obviously, if that's what it says, that's what it is.
It says it right on the bottle.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of fun with this car, and you're enjoying yourself here today.
I do. This is my favorite car show to come to every year. I drove, about an hour. I got up at 5 a.m. I actually got up at like 4:30. We left at 5 a.m. to get here, and it was well worth it. It's a beautiful day.
Peter, this is a great event.
Yeah, we're really excited.
Are you in charge of this?
Yes, well, we have a big team that's worked on this pretty much over a year, getting ready to come to Detroit. And the Cars and Community at the Comerica Park parking lots was one of our signature events for the weekend. And we're really excited with the turnout, great weather, just an unbelievable backdrop against Woodward and the ballpark and the parking lots. And we were able to weave it in before their game tonight. And so really good. People, a lot of smiles, a lot of fun.
It's a great event. It's great to cars. I mean, great weather. You couldn't ask for more.
No, yeah, we couldn't ask for more. And this is our first year to be in Detroit. And so it's really important that we wanted to be able to have a couple of linchpin events that are in Detroit. And so obviously tomorrow we're going to be at the DIA, Detroit Institute of Arts, for the Concours. We wanted to have a community event, and we wanted it to be centrally located in downtown. And so we had the opportunity to work with the Comerica Park and the Tigers and the team. And so it's great. We have Radwood, Lemons, we have car clubs, ride and drives, youth zone, and a lot of fun activities.
There's something here for everybody.
Yes, yeah, great music too.
Yeah.
And
now, are you going to make this an annual event?
Yes, yeah, we're definitely going to be back in Detroit, and obviously the time of year we're going to look at September. We really like post-summer. A lot of activities in the fall, but we're going to make this. We want to be a home in Detroit, and so we're going to make that a part of our future.
And Hagerty's located in Michigan, right?
Yes, yeah. Hagerty's located in Traverse City, Michigan, in our main office there. And so it's great. We've actually had some of our extended employees come down. Some of the people that haven't maybe even seen an event before get to come and experience an event. Obviously, a lot of our partners, members, sponsors, and so it's been really exciting.
Well, great. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
What a
Thanks
great
for
event.
your support. Yes. Thank you.
Hey, wasn't that fun? That was a lot of unusual and cool vehicles. People have a real passion for those. It's just the type of car show we love. And if you'd like to see more, check out our YouTube channel, Speed and Shine TV. Until next time. Hey Noah, do you know what that does? I don't know how to weld. I thought you did. We're we're here on a beautiful summery day in September in the parking lot of Coal America. Hey, welcome to Speed and Shine. Car thing wasn't working out, so we're gonna start covering baseball.